Welcome to CGTN's live stream. I'm reporter Hui'ao.
I'm reporter Feng Yilei.
Well, we know the Winter Olympics is just around the corner, and today we are at a competition venue called the National Indoor Stadium. Here, it will be the competition venue for ice hockey, which I covered its test event more than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but I know most of the, actually all of the team are domestic team and actually school teams.
School teams.
Which means no foreign teams were able to participate in the test events. So, but I assume they will be pretty much curious about what the venue is actually look like.
Exactly, like what is the ice, like how is the ice exactly, what is the auditorium and the locker room, and for our audience, they must be curious, what is the visual experience like? So for more, we are very pleased to be joined in our live stream, our Mr. Wang Yue, who is the general manager of this National Indoor Stadium. 我们非常有幸的请到您哈，能够给我们一个 tour 吧，那个因为很多的外国运动员没有机会来到我们这个非常漂亮的国家体育馆。
to this tour because a lot of the international athletes they don't have chance to come into this national indoor stadium, so we are very much looking forward to your introduction about what is the inner facilities. So now we can see that it's a legacy from 2008 Summer Olympics. And so what game it was hosting back in 2008? Well, in 2008 Beijing Olympics, and this is the venue for gymnastics, for handball. And during the Paralympics in 2008, we hosted the wheelchair basketball. And during the 2020 Olympic Winter Games, this will be hosting the men's ice hockey games and also some of the women's ice hockey matches. And during the Paralympics of 2022, it will be hosting the ice hockey teams for athletes with disabilities. So what is this venue for? After 2008, during 2008, it was not here, and this is actually a training center that we built for 2022. You can see that the outer wall is going along very well with the style of the inner facilities, and to demonstrate the features of 2022, we are using a special pattern on the outer glass wall, and when it is in the day reflecting the sunshine, and also if you come here in the night, they will look very similar to ices. And you mentioned about the test matches, and we actually have hosted the test match here a week ago. We call this outer wall the seals of ice because they are in the shape of sails on a boat, and also it also represents the tremendous progress of ice and snow sports China has made. So this is a very good meaning that it's conveying. So am I actually walking on the route of the athletes? Basically, do all the athletes get off the bus when they arrive here? So during the games time, this is the exit, and the athletes, when their buses come, they're gonna park here, and then the athletes, they're gonna get off the bus and then claim their luggages, and then very quickly they will be able to enter the building. So we have a closed-loop route here. Yes, because currently, according to our plan, this is the entrance. On this side of the building, we have a mixed interview area. Besides that, we have a training center, and we also have the locker room. So we are very curious about the locker room. And we heard that there are 14 very large locker rooms which can accommodate 2,800 people. So the National Indoor Stadium follows the principle of putting athletes in the first place, and this is the principle of athletes centered. So the locker room and also the training center and the competition venue, they are all in one place, and this way the athletes, they don't need to carry their luggages and travel between different stadiums or venues. And also take a look at this locker room that we have built for our athletes, and this is the dressing room for all the athletes. We have 12 men's teams and 2 women's teams, and they will have to transfer here from the Ukesung Sports Center. So this is to say that for those 12 teams, they will each have their own fixed dressing rooms. So from the day when they arrive here, they can put their luggage here in the locker room, and they don't need to change their lockers. So they don't need to move their stuff around. So this is the locker room for Team China. So this is just a decoration board, actually. So during the games time, they will have their own logos for each and every team. So this is just a concept design for Team China. This will not necessarily be the same during the games time. So, Yilei, I think you have never been here, and we are very curious about the locker rooms of those players. So today we have some facilities and equipments here inside the locker room, and based on my understanding, the locker rooms for ice hockey is very comprehensive in terms of the different facilities, and we have many different functional areas. And take a look at this one. This is the sharpening room, and this is actually very useful. For every team, there will be a sharpening room, which is equipped with a table. So this is basically to sharpen the blade of their ice hockey sticks. And each team will also be equipped with a vacuum. Right across us is the coaches' room, and this is simply for the coaches to take a rest and also to get changed very quickly. And because the coaches, they have to dress up formally, and this is where they can put on their formal dresses. And this is a storage room for ice hockey teams. They will have to stock a lot of facilities and equipments. So that is why within every locker room, they can put their commonly used facilities and equipment here. And also we have 2 separate storage rooms. So for one ice hockey team, and there are at least 3 storage rooms. So this is the medical room. If the athletes, they get tired, they can have a massage here. And we also have a rehabilitation room, and this is simply to help the athletes calm down and relax so that they can get ready for the match. So we have 4 rooms: sharpener room, coach's room, storage room, and also medical room. And this is a big hall of the team. So for each team, we have 25 locker positions. You can now take a look at those sizes, and we have 3 lockers that's relatively bigger. And this one is for the goaltender, because the goaltender has to store relatively larger equipment here, and you can sit down and lean back. So there are a lot of detailed designs. For example, this is to hang your shoes and boots, and the directions of the hooks, the size of the hooks, and the height of those equipments. They are carefully designed just to make it very convenient and comfortable. And also, this is the cupboard for the shoes. And bear in mind that we have 2 ventilation holes. During games time, their clothes, they might be soaked with sweat, so that's why we designed 2 ventilation holes. So I can see that there is a ramp inside. Why is that? Well, because they are carrying the blades. This is simply to protect the blades, because the blades, they are very sharp. So it must be longer than your feet. Exactly, so you have to be very careful with the blades. And from the side, you can see that this is very carefully designed. And take a look at this cushion here. It actually has a ramp. So when you sit down, you can fully relax your back. If you are sitting upright, you will feel the support from behind. So this is a very considerate design, and this is for all the players of ice hockey. And we are following international standards. And the designer of this locker room used to be an ice hockey player himself, so he understands the game. And we have gone through a lot of detailed designs. So this is the shower room. So we actually have a shower room and a bathroom. So here in this shower room, we have 8 showers. So because the National Indoor Stadium will not only be hosting the ice hockey teams, but also some other games. So that is why we have so many options for our players, and also take a look at their height. And this is accessible facilities. And this is so designed to make the game run very smoothly. So this will make everything more convenient. So there are 2 reasons why we put it here. Number 1, we can provide a space for the coaches and the players to get together just so they can get ready with their playing tactics. And as I told you before, that the designer of this locker room used to be an ice hockey player himself, so he understands the game very well. So we have to protect the floor very well. Technically speaking, they are not allowed to put on their blades boots right on this floor. So that is why we're having this mat here on this floor. So at the very beginning, I thought this is just for the protection of the floors, but now I know that this is for the protection of their blades. So this is a place where they can stock their sticks after the game. This area is relatively wider because this is for the goaltender. So what else can we expect? So in addition to those locker rooms and the facilities that you just saw, we have dryers. This is simply to dry up the gloves. And also we have some public spaces. This is simply for the maintenance of their equipment. And also we have a lot of facilities and equipments that are currently in the process of procurement. So we just saw the 14 locker rooms. During the games time, each and every player, they will have their own locker rooms. So we have a very comprehensive set of facilities. We provide it in a fair and equitable manner to all the players. It's not necessarily that the Chinese team will have a larger room, and this is not the case here. So from here and all the way to the end of the hallway, you can see the training center. So which means that after they get dressed up, they can go directly to the training center. So let me tell you, this is only 20 to 30 meters away from the locker room to the training center. So it's very fast for you to transfer from one facility to another. So this is so designed to save time, and after the players they get trained and they can come back to their dressing rooms. So we are currently walking on the route of those players during the game's time, and after they finish their game of the day, they can get out from the exit, and then they will find their buses very easily. So we also have a warm-up area for the game. So when I say warm-up, they are not fully dressed up, they're not wearing blades, and this is simply physical warm-up exercises before the games. So all the equipments and facilities, they are on the way coming into here, and we are getting ready for the last moment.
这个是没有想到会有一个这样的一个。
对，我们也所以说的话，应该。
训练的一部分嘛。
对，是他们训练的那个。
So we also have a football room for the main team. Well, this is unheard of, and this is part of their training actually. So this is the standard configuration for all the Olympic Winter Games. And hosting Olympic Winter Games is a great opportunity for China to bring 300 million people to winter and snow sports, and so this is the standard for the configuration, and we are being very particular with the details. We are up to the standard in terms of preparation. So we are right now walking on the closed loops of the players' routes. So for ordinary spectators, then there will be no opportunity for them to get into this part of the venue. So we have many different fitness facilities and just for the players to get warmed up. So we will have a curtain in the center of the warm-up training room. This is simply to guarantee their privacy. And also, if they open a curtain, they can simply have a word with each other and have some interactions. I know that the test event was organized here 2 weeks ago, and right now we are about 2 months away from the Olympic Winter Games. And I see that everybody is very busy. And what are you busy with these days? We are making every final preparations, and during the test event, we are not testing all the different plays and games. There will be another final test in the lead up to the games. And we are right now making some final preparations in terms of facilities and the different equipments. So from the test event, we can identify some potential problems. We can also practice our teamwork. So through the test events, we mainly aim at spotting some of the flaws and mistakes. For some of the test events, we have actually invited some leading players, and we actually have interviewed the vice president of International Ice Hockey Association, and he said that it's not necessary to bring all the different international teams. So that is why we mainly invited teams from schools, and this will be enough because this will be sufficient in testing all the different functions and facilities. So we are walking on this route. This is the route that will be traveled by the players during games time. So during the games time, they don't need to walk from their locker rooms to the training centers, and there can be some adjustment to their locker rooms. And so this is simply to save times for the players, so they don't need to walk around between different facilities. So you're telling me that during games time they don't need to travel between different venues. So we have 4 such rooms here, and this is for the host team and also the participating team. And we have a coach room, and we also have a lounge room for the coaches as well as the players. And this is the games day dressing room. So this is simply for them to maybe hosting a prep meeting, and they can discuss some of their tactics. For example, they can summarize their performance in the first half of the match, and then you can plan their tactics for the second half. So this is an area that is very close to the playground. Well, this is quite different because you open the door, you will be able to see the rink, and this is the shortest distance ever. So this is the shortest distance I have ever seen from a locker room to the playing rink. So this is careful design, and we are making very good preparations, and this is reflecting again the athlete-centered principle. And there are 2 locker rooms on this side and 2 locker rooms on that side, and this is also for efficiency sake. So it's very short distance actually. So one of the key preparations is that you will have to deploy those mats on the floor. So this is simulating the fabric of ice, right? Yes, because we're gonna deploy this on the floor, and this can go along very well with the blades, and you can see some scratches because we just held the test events, and also in April there was another exercise here. You can hold it up, and this is the scratch from the blades. During games time, they will be deployed on the floor and between the distance between the rink and the locker room. So this is one very key preparation. And secondly, we're going to change the fabric on the boundary wall. So for ice hockey players, they will be able to step across this threshold, but during the Paralympics, this will be removed. It will be made more accessible for all the players. And also, you can take a look at the benches of the players. Now take a look at the walls and also the floor, and they will be changed during games time, and because they will be seated on their own equipment, and they will be seated in a very low position. So that is why it will be made. The walls will be made transparent, and also the threshold will be lowered to floor surface. Right over there, we have the penalty stage. So since we are this close, why don't we set our foot on this rink? I heard that this ice could be made within 5 days. Well, it's not perfect timing today because this is the ice that is currently melting. This is not the dirty dent of the floor, and this is the color of the concrete floor. You didn't come on the right day because the ice is currently melting, and this is in a color of white. When the ice gathers to certain thickness, there will be a white-colored paint attached to the surface, and then we will draw the lines on the surface. So this is the process that we have to go through. Take a guess, how many people will there be in the ice making team? So for such a rink, well, I think it will be many. Actually, for the National Indoor Stadium, the ice making team consists of 2 ice making experts, and they have participated in 4 Winter Olympics. They are highly experienced, and also under their leadership, we have 10 staff from China, and they will mainly be supporting these 2 leading experts. In November, during the test event, we are going to have 14 staff from China, because from the first day, since midday, we will have a lot of matches. On the first day alone, there are 3 matches, so they will have to get ready in the very beginning, and they will have to work till midnight on the first day. So the support team of the ice making is highly important, so we have to make careful preparations in all the different aspects. So we communicated with those ice hockey players, and they are very particular with the ice hockey rink. It has to be smooth, it has to be flat. So where are we currently in terms of the rink quality? So I just gave you an introduction about the ice hockey team. So this is the 3rd time that we are making ice here. I can tell you that we have gone through 2 exercises. We have collected feedbacks from players. We also consulted with technical officials from the International Ice Hockey Federation. They are very satisfied with the standards of ice hockey here, and so we can tell you with great confidence that we can definitely meet the standards. Well, let me tell you that they are very particular about the harness, about the flatness of the rink. You said it very well. We understand those requirements and standards. So this is a very flat rink. So on such high quality ice hockey rink, the skills of each and every player can be put into best display. So this is also quite different from the skating rink. Yes, you're right. The techniques and hardness are quite important. And during the men's team for ice hockey, the thickness will be around 3.5 to 4 millimeters, and during the Paralympics, it will be around 4 to 4.5 millimeters. Why? Because during the Paralympic match, it will be supporting a lot of wheelchairs, heavier equipment. So just like when you are skating, if you're just skating with the boots, then it's less harmful to the skating rink. So when you are bringing a lot of heavier equipment, when you are playing on a wheelchair, you have to be very careful with the floor. We're going to leave a lot of scratches. So protection to the floor is very important. So we can actually sit down here, and this is the bench seat, and this is for the substitutes. So according to what we have learned, within every 2 minutes there will be one substitution, because when they are playing on the rink, it's quite difficult and they actually consume a lot of energy. So when you're watching a ice hockey team, when they start with the face-off, the main coach will run towards the position of the goaltender. I didn't know this in the very beginning, but later I learned that after playing for a while, the puck will register a temperature rise because it's made of rubber. So when the temperature rises on the surface of the puck, the speed of the puck will change. So in order to guarantee the hardness and also the different parameters of the puck, so that is why the puck changes in every 2 minutes. So we have seen some ice hockey matches. Whenever I turn on TV and watch ice hockey competitions, it's very fierce, and also it can be very dangerous. And 2 weeks ago, when I was here, I saw the medical team. I also saw a CT vehicle, which is recognized as the hospital on the rink. So they have ventilators, and they have all sorts of medical equipment just to guarantee that in a case of injury, the situation can be very effectively handled. And before the players are transferred to a hospital, the situation can be handled very effectively. So what kind of preparations are we making in this aspect? Well, I do not have much knowledge about this, but I can tell you that based on our current parameters, we have 39 medical teams. So this is in the medical field. From what I have learned, we are very ready, and we have, from our team, we are just focused on the permanent facilities of the stadium, and you're actually asking a question that is in a category of temporary facilities. All right, thank you very much for your information. So we can stand up and walk and talk, and as a ordinary spectator, I will be sitting, for example, during the games time in the audience seat. And so let's go to the audience area, and maybe you can tell us more from the spectator seat. So Yilei, do you want to come here during the games day? Of course. Well, let me tell you more. And this is the boundary wall, and if you push it, you will feel the moving of the boundary wall, and this is also for the protection of the players. And when they had a collision with this wall, and when it can bounce back, it can actually protect the players. And during the games day and during a lot of Olympic matches, these glasses, they can be shattered. But this time we are using a higher quality of glass. It can still be shattered, but when it shatters, it can be replaced within 7 minutes. So this is to guarantee minimum influence or minimum impact to the games. So I think the ice hockey competition is very fierce. Sometimes 3 or 4 players, they can have a fierce collision on the boundary wall all together, which can shatter the glass. So for the puck is weighing 155 to 170 grams. So it has a diameter of 7.62 centimeters, and it's 2.54 centimeters thick. So now we are going to the audience seat, and we have learned that this is a stadium with a seating capacity of 1,800 spectators. So this is another separation of the routes. So we have actually passed this part of the routes, and during games time, different types of personnel, they will follow different routes. And now you can see there is a layer of rubber mat on the floor, and when you step on it too often, it will leave some scratches or damage to the floor. So when you are here for the first time, you can easily get lost. But when you are a player with all those signages, it will be very convenient. So we are following a guide today, and I know that during the games day, the players and the spectators, they will be walking on different routes. So we know what it's like for the players, and now we're gonna go to the audience seat to check it out for the spectators. So I talked about the mass of the puck. It's between 150 to 170 grams. The diameter is 7.62, and the thickness is 2.52 centimeters. So we are now walking on the routes designed for the test events. We have a lot of blockades, and this is simply to make the distinction between different routes. So 18,000 spectators, and how large is this one? Well, during the 2008 Summer Olympics, this is the largest indoor facility, indoor stadium in Asia, and even in today's standards, it's still fairly large. So, Mr. Wang, you said that the National Indoor Stadium is best in terms of size, and what are the other bests? Well, in the old days, the National Indoor Stadium is the largest ice hockey rink. It can also accommodate the largest number of players. It can also accommodate the largest number of spectators. So for men's ice hockey, and that will be where the attention of the Winter Olympics. So it's the most widely participated. It will be the center of attention for all the spectators, because that will attract the most attention from all the audiences in front of TV or in those stadiums. And the opening ceremony for Winter Olympics will be at the Bird's Nest, and I believe by that time, Bird's Nest will attract the most audience. So this is the routes for spectators, and this is the entrance for spectators actually. We just passed the routes. In the beginning part, we traveled the routes of players, but for the audience, they will go through the security check, and then they have their tickets checked. So this is the main entrance on the east side for participants and for spectators. I believe that you are all quite familiar with this building, and that is the main stadium for the opening ceremony of 2008 Olympic Games. This is the water cubic, and during games time of Beijing 2022, it will be transformed into the ice cubic. So all the stadiums, they are pretty close to one another. So it's very convenient for both the spectators as well as the players. So we are leveraging the legacies of 2008. So we just give them a simple renovation so they can be used for Winter Olympics again. So this way we don't need to build more stadiums. We functionally renovated some existing stadiums, and we are making the best use of those legacy stadiums. We bring in more and more advanced facilities. So this is maximizing the use of Lexis.
非常的大气的一个场馆。
而且我们在这个位置更好的可以看到，其实我们刚才提到的它的
So
冰之帆的
this
这个
is
帆的这个
the
特点，就是它原来的这个
National
造型
Indoor
现在加
Stadium.
了这个
This is
玻璃
the
幕墙后
entrance.
它呈
A
现
lot
出
of the volunteers at the time, they took a photo just in front of this
那王总刚才你也提到了
entrance.
就是我们也听说就是在这个场
Well,
馆
with the glass wall,
2022冬奥以
it
后
now
它也
looks
会
even more
继续可以发挥
magnificent.
它原来的一些作
So
用。它
you
是不是可以在
mentioned
这个冬夏
sustainability.
之间切换，是这个意思
I believe that after 2022, this stadium will be
我们看到刚才我们看到主管
very useful for even more games
建的冰面，
going forward.
在2008
Yes, because at the very beginning, the national stadium
我们新增的
was mainly for fencing and for other sports,
我当
and for gymnastics, for example, during 2008. And after 2008, we have supplemented more facilities and equipment here.
但是我们当
Now it has been transformed into a winter stadium, and we can accommodate, for example,
就是多功能的，
就是增加了更多
billiard and also different
包括演唱
other
演唱会 concert，
games, for example,
这个
figure
还挺适
skating.
合搞演唱会的。
So I believe it's not just for sports, and you can even accommodate a
就
concert
模
here.
拟观众哈，我们
a meeting
是刚刚
here,
已
for
经订
example.
票入场，然后呢，我们要来
And
欣
there
赏
are also some other activities of public good that can be accommodated here. So now we are just spectators. We just have our tickets
主要是
checked,
我们所在
and we are following the routes of
所以说运动
spectators.
观众从东
So this
侧
is the entrance.
后基本上也就是十几20米
So we are entering from the
就进入
east
到了
side.
观众看台区。
So when they enter in this stadium, it's only 10-20 meters before they can reach
从这
the
儿的这个
audience
视
seat.
角我已经觉得跟刚刚又完全不一
对
样了，可以说观感更好，基本上。
对，观感更好一些。现在来讲就是
So from this angle, you can see it's
我们的座椅的有一些
quite different, and this is
到时候是
much better view from this this position.
这是
也是
目前的情
为了出于
况。
防疫的这个要求。
And now you can take a look at some of the audience seats. And during games time, I believe social distancing will be maintained.
我们合作的一个伙伴，目前
All right, we can sit down and
这个
have a
座椅
few of
每
the
一个座椅里面还有
seats.
芯片。我们在奥运赛以后，每一个把用起来以后，这样的话，我们每次
So we're working with the supplier, and each and every seat is installed with
一
a
扫码
sensor or a chip.
它的自己的座椅。
哦，是吗？就他就
So each time when the spectators
对，一人一位，对，因为这里面有
come into this stadium,
它的编号，
they just need to scan scan the QR code, and they will know whether they are sitting on the right seat. So because you have the ticket with you, you just need to scan the QR code on the ticket, and then you will be automatically navigated to your
对
seat.
面我们可以看到有很多的蓝色的桌，这个主要
看到这个可
是
能是我们
So this is the eastern part of the
记
stadium,
者及新闻媒体记者，
and this is
记者
where the audience seats.
解说的席位都是在
And this is where the audience seats are, and on the western side, you can see those seats are for commentators, for journalists, for photographers.
进入到这个场馆还有一个直观的
You can see those red
这
carpets,
个量可能是
and this is what we call the seats reserved for the International Olympic family.
要求是120，但是咱们可能
I believe it's very bright here, and this is
对于120
thanks to the light, I believe. And can you tell us more about the lighting design?
120盏，
How many lights do you have here? So we have 120 lights
我们布置了更多的灯，主要是
here in this stadium. So this is simply for the standard of the winter sports in 2022. We have actually
像篮球比赛
deployed
照明
more lights,
它的照度要求
and this is for
区别的。
renovation purposes after the games. For example, if you are hosting a basketball here, of course you're going to have even better lighting conditions.
非常有预见性
So
的，就一次
of course we don't need this many lights for Beijing 2022, but we have
这个也是
redundancy designs for that,
夏季
and this will make it easier for us to transform into other facilities for other sports. So in 2008, during the Summer Olympics, all the stadiums, in terms of design and operation, they have been very considerate. I talked about the sustainability of all the stadiums, and there are a lot of requirements in this regard. After 2008, there's a lot of attention paid to legacy and sustainable use of those stadiums. And our team participated in the construction of water cubic in 2008. So in this renovation project, we give full consideration to the future purposes of this stadium. So that is why we're not just meeting the standards or requirement for Beijing 2022. We have redundancy designs just to make sure that it can be used even after the games. So there can be many different lighting styles, and there are also dozens of colorful lights. And during the games day, it can warm up the atmosphere of the audience, and also after the games, when you host a concert here, it can also give you very good visual impact here. I can see there are 4 large screens right above the center. And what is that for? Well, right now it's showing you some documentary or introductory films of Beijing 2022, and during the games time, it will give you the live picture of the performance that is taking place on the floor. We are giving careful consideration to the loading capacity of the steel structure, and this is high-definition screens. And the size of the screen is carefully calculated. And this, I can tell you, this is the largest curved screens in Asia. It's 8 by 4.5 meters. If you look closely, you will see this curve on the surface of the screen, and this is simply to guarantee that no matter which angle you are watching the screen, you can see it very comfortably. If we don't use this curved design, how different would it be? Well, you can imagine. It's just like sitting in the living room of your family, and if you are watching from an angle, it's not that comfortable. So when it is curved design, it will be very comfortable no matter which angle you are looking at the screen. So inside the 4 screens, there are 4 smaller screens, and this is simply for the coaches as well as the referees, so that they can see some of the details. And when we play back some of the footages, the referees and the technical officials, they will be able to see that as well. Can you point me where the referees will be sitting? Well, it's right over there, right across us. And during games time, the coaches, they will actually be standing outside the boundary wall. They will be formally dressed, and we have 1 red line and 2 blue lines. So outside the lines, we have the technical seats. So I'm wondering where you will be accommodating the awards ceremony. Well, it's actually will be accommodated right on the rink. We're gonna deploy some mats, and the players, the winning team, they will be able to receive the awards right on top of the rink. So I believe that during the award ceremony, the coaches and also all the players of the winning team, they will accept the awards. So during games day, we're gonna deliver 2 gold medals, and 1 for the winning team of the men's hockey, and also 1 for the winning team of the Paralympics for the men's teams. I believe this is a very valuable gold medal for all the players as well as all the spectators. men's hockey team in China is not the best I can tell you, but they are making dramatic progress over the years. I believe that we were born in a long time ago. We have been around for a number of years, and I believe that the men's hockey team in China is now exercising together with the Russian team. So I believe that there will be a lot of attention paid to the Chinese men's team. And this will be a rare opportunity for Chinese team to compete with other teams of the world. I just interviewed the vice president of International Ice Hockey Federation, and he said that 2022 is the golden opportunity. And my colleagues just now a couple of days ago interviewed some ice hockey teams, and in Beijing at the municipal level there is a inter-campus competition. And if you play ice hockey, you can play at the competition. You can play at the competition at the campus level, and then district level, and then municipal level. So we are forming an ecosystem for this game. Well, ice hockey in Beijing is relatively better developed. We have a huge number of competitions at different levels. There are a lot of training centers across the city, and we will be working together with the Beijing Ice Hockey Association. So we will be maybe providing spaces for them, and we will guarantee that throughout the year, this ice hockey rink will be used to the fullest, providing rehearsal places and warm-up places and training venues for different ice hockey teams in Beijing. Our goal is to transform the National Indoor Stadium into a home for all the sports lovers and sports players. Well, let me think a little bit about the exact quotation, but no worries, we got it, and I believe that this will be a center for mass sports. So, Yilei, it's a rare opportunity. Do you have any question to Mr. Wang? It's really a rare opportunity, and this is the stadium with a seating capacity of 18,000, and this will be the venue for ice hockey during the Winter Olympic and Paralympic of 2022. So today marks the 100-day countdown to the Paralympics. So do you have any special designs for the Paralympics? Well, we're going to have a lot of accessibility designs. For example, this one here, and this is the observatory platform for people on wheelchairs. For example, this area where we are standing right now. So when the audience, when they come here, they will very quickly arrive at this wheelchair platform. And also the glasses are transparent, and the spectators, they can see through. And this is also a fence for protective purposes. We have a huge number of such platforms, a lot of accessible designs. So take a look over there. We have 2 floors of such platforms. So a lot of accessible seats for persons with disabilities. So Mr. Wang, I believe a lot of the spectators won't be able to make it here because of the COVID. And for people watching on TV, what special designs do you have? Well, this is a very important topic, and we have been talking about 5G and also the coverage of telecommunication networks. A lot of the spectators will be watching on TV, and we are making a lot of technical preparations. We have 5G signal coverage. We have basic infrastructures We also have different technical means. We have VR and AR and 360 degrees of panoramic view. So we're gonna deliver high definition and high quality live streaming on TV. So there are a lot of technical rehearsals currently going on, and let's be patient. And I believe that all the audiences watching on TV will have a spectacular experience. I just mentioned that we have smart navigation services for all the spectators. So this stadium is also a smart one. Well, I'm very impressed that you're using a lot of robots, for example, in disinfection and also for remindings of mask wearing. So all those will be conducted by robots. Traditionally, we have human volunteers reminding people to put on their masks. And we also have disinfection activity going on. So we talked about this smart navigation and logistics, some basic cleaning efforts. All those will be handled by robots. We're using these technologies not just to show off, and this is for COVID-19 prevention and control, because if we are using robots, we can keep a safe distance between humans, and also a lot of the kids and children, they are very interested in robots. We are also practicing garbage sorting, and this will raise the awareness of technology for the young generation. And also the robot is a moving dustbin, so it can remind people to put the right garbage in the right place. So you mentioned this telecommunication network, so the signal of the match will be picked up across the world, and if we can provide very good technological support to broadcasters around the world, then I believe this game will reach a very large audience. The venue, the lighting, and also the technologies, the high-definition screens on top of the venue, I believe everything is very important to a successful game and also to a successful broadcasting of the game. So we are making very detailed plans. We are very much into the detail. We're improving our maintenance and supporting capacity. In 2008, during the Summer Olympics, we got the feedback that Beijing held an unparalleled Olympic Games. I believe that we're going to deliver something similar or even better in 2022. Well, we are getting very close to the Winter Olympics. How do you spend the last few days in the lead up to the Olympic Winter Games? So we're going to make some final preparations. And for those problems that we have already identified, we're going to rectify them immediately. We will be working to every detail. We will make very careful plans and deployments. The National Indoor Stadium in 2022 in January, it will start the new round of ice making, and that will be the fourth ice making process. And for us, a lot is at stake. We only have less than 100 days. And before the ice making and even during the ice making, we will play a very effective supportive role. And after we have won the bid, we have immediately engaged in renovation. We have been improving our capacities, and we have been making preparations every second. And we participated in the renovation and in the construction work, and during the games time, it's the same people that will be supporting the games. So we have the best knowledge over each and every detail of those facilities and equipment, because we have been working on it from the very beginning, and we have the best knowledge about those facilities and equipment. And this is also ensuring sustainable use of our talents. All right, thank you very much for your time. And what I'm very impressed is how you use the word sustainability. And if you look at all the designs, you will see that they are sustainable, and you are also demonstrating the principle of athlete-centered. And also take a look at all the lights. It's very detailed. It's very meticulous. You're making every progress in the lead up to the Olympic Winter Games. So, Yilei, do you have some final words? What you mentioned about athlete-centered, what I'm very impressed is that this is a stadium for sustainable use, and you're using a lot of technologies, and I'm looking forward to the games.
Takeaways from today's live stream, and we do hope our athletes from around the world, well, we know you didn't get a chance to come here to the National Indoor Stadium to experience the test event, but it doesn't matter. Well, through our live stream and the introduction from our Mr. Wang Yue, the general manager, you get a taste of how the preparation work is going and what you can expect for the real competition. And I think that's all from our live stream. And this is part of our series called Exploring Our Competition Venues. And later in the week and in future weeks, in the following weeks, our colleagues will bring more exploration of different competition venues across Beijing, as well as in Zhangjiakou and Yanqing. Well, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.
Thank you.